So in order to access the virtualization software that's going to allow us to use the software that we typically use in this class, we're going to go to frame.nutanix.com. That'll be linked in Google Classroom. And we're going to sign in with our Glenbrook Google accounts. It'll maybe take a second for it to go. If you get this message, just go ahead and make sure you choose your Glenbrook account, not any personal ones, and then make sure that you accept these terms of service. So you're going to get to this page right here, and basically you're going to click on desktop right here. That's all you need to know about in this session. And basically what's going to happen is going to create a Microsoft Windows environment that you can access through your Chromebook. So it's going to look like this. And you'll see down in the bottom right-hand corner, Google Drive is going to be sort of blinking and connecting. We've been using a Mac environment, so this is going to be a little bit different, but a lot of the things are going to be similar. I'm going to go full screen, and you might want to go full screen as well because it's going to make it feel more like a typical Windows computer. Now, even though you're using the Chrome browser to get to this, we are still going to open up Chrome within the virtualization software. That is going to allow us to essentially make it seem like we're working within just this computer and not working within a computer that is a window into another computer. It's going to be sort of confusing, but for our projects, we're going to access things we can copy and paste using the same clipboard using this Chrome application here. A couple things to note on a Windows or PC computer. We're going to click right here to get to the Explorer. This is sort of the same as Finder on a Mac. And I want you to see, if you scroll on down on this PC, it'll say Google Drive. And by logging in with your Glenbrook Google account, you're automatically connected to Google File Stream. So you should see all of your projects right here. So you actually should be able to access some of the projects that you were working on before we left for remote learning. Now what we're going to do is we're going to set up Unity Hub because there's a number of things that we need to do in order to get that right. So I'm going to exit out of the Explorer window right here, and I'm going to open up Unity Hub. Now, one thing you'll note is that the resolution isn't going to be quite as good as if you were working locally on a machine, and there's a little bit of lag, but it's really not that bad. It's actually quite impressive. It's going to say you're using the latest version of Unity Hub. We can dismiss that, and what we have to do is we need to activate our license, and in order to do that, we need to log in. So we're going to click on the profile right here. We're going to go to sign in. This should be something that we only have to do once. This is a new system, so we're going to sort of troubleshoot as we go. Now, I believe we were using our Google account. So we're going to go to sign in with Google. You'll scroll down a little bit right there. You'll type in your Glenbrook Google Glenbrook225.org. And then you'll type in your password. Now, hopefully you cannot see what my password is, but here we go. And so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to allow this. So at this point, we've sort of connected our Unity account to Unity Hub, and we need to activate a new license. And so we're going to use Unity Personal. We're going to say, I don't use Unity in a professional capacity. We'll say done. And we have successfully activated the license. Very good. And so now what we need to do is go back to General, and we need to go to Installs, because currently we don't have any Unity installs sort of located or connected to Unity Hub. So we're going to go to Locate, and it should open you up to, if you look at the navigator here, say Windows C, Program Files, and we're going to scroll on down to Unity, not Unity Hub, but Unity. And we're going to go to Editor, and then we're going to go down until we get to Unity right here. Say Application right here. We'll go to Select Editor, and now we're going to go to Projects. You're going to see all of your old projects are going to sort of, that you have uploaded to the Collaborate feature are going to be right here. But this version of Unity that we were working on at school is different than this version of Unity that is installed on this virtual machine. So we probably are not going to be able to open these. Instead, what we're going to do is go to New, and we're going to go to 2D, and we're going to set the location. Now, this is going to be a test. We might end up not doing this, but we're going to change our location to Google Drive. We're going to save it somewhere in our Google Drive. Now, me personally, I have a folder called Curriculum. You might have a Game 161 folder. So I'm going to go to Curriculum. I've got an eLearning and then Game 161. I'm going to hit Select Folder, and I'm going to call this Test Project. And then we're going to go ahead and click Create. And so basically what we want to do in this assignment is just make sure that Unity actually works, that we can navigate this virtualization environment. And so assignment number 1 for this Monday is to just make sure that we can actually do this. On Thursday, when we have our next class, we're actually going to start working in an actual game. So your task is to troubleshoot and sort of make sure that this works. If you follow the steps that I just showed you, everything should work just fine and dandy. This will time out after 10 minutes of inactivity, so make sure that you don't just sort of leave, because otherwise you're gonna lose your work, and we obviously don't want that. So I'm going to let this continue to initialize. I'll try to cut this out. This might take, so far it's been, 30, 40 seconds. It might take a couple of minutes. Hopefully, once we've done this once, it'll go faster in the future. But that's sort of the situation that we are in at the moment. Now, as a reminder, we are in full screen mode. So on a Mac, I'm going to sort of hover my mouse up here. I can go out of that full screen mode. You're going to see that sort of sizes once you've adjusted your screen size. There's also this full screen mode down here, which is sort of nice. And so that's another way to make it seem as if you're actually working on a traditional Microsoft PC environment. So we're just going to continue to wait, and once this opens and once we're up and running, we will be good to go. Okay, so that took about, 90 seconds to 2 minutes, maybe a little bit more, but maybe a little bit less. If you get this message that there's a new version of Unity available, skip the new version. Now, I would encourage you to check for updates, because we're not going to do any updating of the software, so we're going to skip the new version. And that brings us to our Unity editor, the way that we expect to see it. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to adjust our layout. That'll be the final step for today. So now what we're going to do is we're going to move our hierarchy over here, sort of near the inspector. We're going to put the console, let's do the game down here. Let's put the project, let's put the project over here. We're going to have the console next to it. We want our inspector over here. And we're not going to use the asset store, but we are going to add animation animator. And the animator we will keep up here. Very good. And then we'll go to window, animation. We're going to put that next to the game panel down here. Okay, perfect. Game scene, hierarchy, and let's get the inspector over here. There we go. And the final thing that we are going to do is go to layout, and we're going to save layout, and we're going to call this Freeman, named after Jesse Freeman. We'll go file, we'll go to save, and so that'll save the scene, and file, exit. If you were able to successfully do all of those steps, then you are good to go for Thursday when we actually start working on video games again. Thanks for sticking with me throughout all of this. When you're done in this virtualization setup over here, you can go and click here, and then you can disconnect. And disconnect again. Make sure disconnect, keep your apps running in the background so you can resume later or from another device. Always save your work in case, we've already saved, so very good. And disconnect.